sight, the smell, the touch, the taste, the hearing, the sound. Yes, I also feel that sorry?
I said, and then we were waiting for the other
yeah.
one.
The imagination, from my point of view, imagination is that extra sixth sense. Why? Because it is something that involves all the other senses, or maybe one or two or some of them, but to connect us to the world around us. And I'm saying that because, for example, in my school of herbal medicine, this is one technique that we are encouraged to use. And there's one thing, for example, for me to work with a dry herb. It's just a dry, almost powder. There's one way to relate with it. Okay, you can make teas and potions with it. Then another way is for me to actually grow that plant. It's a completely different experience. When you see it growing, it's actually a living being. And then another level is by what we call sitting with the plants. And there's more and more research about this, of the connection and how through the electromagnetic fields that we all have and other beings have, there is connection. Also there is connection, for example, you know that, again, there's more and more research nowadays that our microbiome, which is the population of bacteria around us, everywhere around us, and we are actually having a microbiome cloud. And this is the first interaction with other people. So sometimes you have the feeling that I don't get along with that person, or I do get along with that person. Is that kind of a gut feeling? That is your microbiome is interacting. And of course we get into a lot of other science about what makes our microbiome unique. And more research again shows that diet is very important, because the more variety you have in your diet, the more variety you have in your microbiome, and then the stronger it is, and then the open-minded it is. So there's a lot of things that we are coming back to explore from a scientific point of view, but in ancient times they had a better notion about it because they were better connected to nature. So when I say nature, it doesn't have to be the forest. Nature is actually in the city. Nature is actually even this, it's part, it's us, we're part of it. So this is our nature now. Cities will be our nature now. It doesn't mean that we can't relate to it. So that's what I'm going to try to do today. And as I say, just make it fun. And try to, let's say, ramble. Yeah, and I'll give you an example, because on the way in the train today, I said, okay, this is fun, because I do it sometimes, and I do it for fun. And I said, okay, I'm going to do it now with this beautiful pain au chocolat that I am munching on. So it's pain au chocolat. From pain au chocolat, I got to Camelot. And that's I'm just giving you an example of the trail of thoughts that in the exercises that we're going to do is not to emulate this, but just to give you an idea that don't follow rules. Just try to listen whatever comes. Be that an image and thought and feeling and sensations. And then we'll see later on in the afternoon what we do with it. So this is just a ramble of thoughts. Yeah, so the pain au chocolat, and I love first the smell. And I say, okay, why do I like it? It's the comfort that gives me. Why is it comforting? Buttery, it's soft, it's rich, and it's also the bittersweet, and fluffy, and airy. And I said, okay, comfort, but what is comfort for me? And I thought, oh, comfort for me, I think it's kitchen. I love cooking. So for me, comfort is related to kitchen. And I said, why is it kitchen comforting? It's because of the act of creation, the act of mixing things that are not apparently related in any way, but then they come together and they make this thing that sort of brings together also the taste, the smells, and then they're layered, just like the pain au chocolat. And then I thought, okay, why do I like to bring things together? And I thought, well, actually, I don't know why. And then, pretty much, just Camelot came into my head, because I love the myth of Camelot. I love everything about Arthur and the idea of bringing together individuals that have nothing in common. They're so different, apparently. They're all very different powers, let's say. But then when they're brought together, they create this harmonious, almost like a different being. So it's what I mean is that you start exploring something that you don't know where it's going to bring you. I'm not saying that it's stream of consciousness, because you are thinking about it, but it's just tapping into. So I would say we'll go in 2 stages, meaning that when we'll do the exercise, because it's going to be very practical, sensorial, yeah? And we're going to taste, we're going to touch, we're going to smell, and so on. So there will be 2 parts. First, to try to describe it. And then the second part, to try to see, what does it make you feel? It could be anger, it could be sadness, could be unknown, whatever that is. And just to try to put that down. So that's pretty much the purpose for today.
And
so,
can-
yeah.